What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 11 of Monday Gunday. Today we're kind of starting a new iteration of Monday Gunday. We're going to be going into some more modified or built guns, and today we are starting off with the Langdon tactical built Glock 34 Gen 5. So Langdon Tactical is a name that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with. Ernest Langdon started Langdon Tactical in 2001, and they have been training and modifying and building high-end guns since then. So Ernest Langdon started his career in the Marine Corps and has attended quite a handful of firearms instructor schools, counterterrorism schools. I believe he was a sniper as well. He also has over 25 years of competitive shooting experience. He is a grandmaster in USPSA, and he's also a distinguished master in IDPA. He has 10 national championships under his belt and 2 world speed shooting titles. So Langdon Tactical is a pretty cool company. They offer training, they offer high-end gunsmithing, they modify a lot of guns, including Glock, HK. They're really known for their Beretta modifications to the 92. They even do some shotgun modifications. On top of their gunsmithing and training, they also offer a whole another kind of training called LTT Discover, where they help people kind of get into guns, help empower people to be able to carry, especially women, and Amy Langdon kind of spearheads that, and she's done an amazing job with that as well. So Langdon Tactical got into modifying Glocks probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I think they do a great job. They don't do a ton, as you can see. They offer their laser stipple. This one has the brick style stippling. They add an apex trigger and their gunsmiths go in and tune that trigger to their specifications and their likings. This particular one, the Glock 34, they added Dawson precision sights. They also do a slight undercut. They add on this one, they have a brass grip plug. I have another one that has just the polymer one. That helps a lot on these Gen 5s. So they really don't mess with a lot of stuff. On Glocks, in my opinion, yes, a lot of people like to really modify the crap out of them to make them shoot well, but Glocks are an awesome pistol. They are extremely reliable. They set the bar for reliability. And in my opinion, Langdon changes everything that's needed and nothing that isn't. So it's not overly flashy. They help the trigger out a little bit. They give it some better sights. They give it a nice texture job. And from there, you just need to add skill and you'll be able to shoot these really well. So just some quick specs on the Glock 34. The overall length is 8.82 inches. Overall width is 1.2 inches. The height is 5.47 inches. The weight is 25.93 ounces unloaded with an empty mag. The barrel length is 5.31 inches. And the capacity with their non-extended mag is 17+1 in the chamber. So you might have noticed we have a little bit of a change of scenery for Monday Gunday. So we're just gonna go right into shooting it. All right, guys, we walked on over to the range, and as always, we're gonna start with our 3 drills for Monday Gunday. So starting off, we're gonna start with 2 build drills at 7 yards. And what we're looking for in those drills, we're looking for reset on the trigger. We're looking at the ergonomics of kind of the recoil impulse. How well can you control the recoil, which kind of goes down to just the bore axis pretty much. How easy is it to keep on target through a fast string of fire? Then we will do a 2 3R3s at 7 yards. And what we're looking for there is the ergonomics of the mag release, the slide release, and the mag well, and just see how easy and how well does it lend itself to a fast, consistent reload. And then we'll bump it back to 10 yards and run a no time B8 for accuracy. And also what we're looking for there is how crisp is the trigger, how easy is it to shoot a tight group. We're looking mainly at the sights, looking at the point of aim, point of impact, if there's going to be any difference in there, and just how accurate can the pistol be overall. So let's start with the build drill at 7 yards. I guess I should go on this. All right. Okay, so it's a little windy. This might affect my garment purchase, but we'll see. All right, first bill drill at 7 yards. Should load it. There we go. And as always, I'm running from an Axis Elite. All right, stand by. Ooh. Got some trigger freeze there. That was a 231. My fourth shot was just to the left. All right, let's see if I can clean that up. That one was clean with a 203. Let's go check those hits. So that was my fourth shot on the first bill drill. I think my support hand relaxed quite a bit, and that allowed my trigger finger to kind of push the gun to the left and down. Low and left, as all the Glock haters say. But on the second one, I cleaned it up. The wind is kind of messing with my garment clearing, but I think that's pretty good. I haven't shot a Glock in a long time because I've been running the M&P, but it's kind of reminding me why I like Glocks so much. All right, so let's try the 3R3 now. All right, so with the 3R3, we're wanting to go slide lock. We're looking at the ergos of the mag release, slide release, and the mag well. So we're just gonna see how well we can slam a slide lock reload. Okay, stand by. I threw one more to the left. I'm letting that support hand relax a little too much. That was a 359. That one felt pretty good though, but my support hand is kind of failing me today. So, set back up for 3R3. See if we can clean it up again. Stand by. Oop. I'm gonna take a mulligan on that one. Stand by. That was a 337. So that one felt really good. One thing that I am a big fan of on the Gen 5s, and especially the Langdons, is that grip plug. That is a major hang up when you don't have that in there, and it helps so much. But yeah, I think that was the fourth or fifth shot after the reload on the first 3R3 that my support hand relaxed a little bit, but everything else we kept clean. The reload itself was super smooth. Yeah, big fan so far. So let's bump it back to 10 yards and see if we can smoke a good B8. All right, so we're gonna move on to the B8. This is gonna be at 10 yards, no time. We're going strictly for accuracy. We're looking mainly at how crisp the trigger is. If it has a good break, that it's gonna allow us to make a really precise shot. And we're also looking at the sights, what the point of impact is relative to where you were holding on the target, and just how well they aid themselves to a nice tight group at 10 yards. So let's go try it out. Okay, got 10 shots. Let's see how we do, see how I do. I know this gun can do it, let's see if I can. Okay, I probably should have went just a touch slower. Ooh, yeah, I definitely should have went slower. So I threw two out, but when I was really focusing on keeping those sights right there, it's point of aim, point of impact, and with these Dawsons, it's got that red fiber optic front and the blacked out rears. It's basically a red dot. That front fiber optic is glowing really well, and as long as you break it clean on the center, that's where the round is going. So that's a a 98, but definitely could have done better. That was my fault, but I do really like the Dawsons on this 34. So I'm gonna go discuss with Aaron. We're gonna tally up our score and then we'll talk about it here in a minute. All right guys, we just finished shooting the Langdon tactical built Glock 34 Gen 5, and so we're gonna go right into our scoring system. So starting off with cost, these are just ever so slightly on the spendy side. For a fully built Glock 34, it's right around $1,000 bucks. But the cool thing with the Langdon handguns is you can choose what you want done to them. So the price can vary if you only want a trigger, if you only want the trigger and the stipple or the sights, the price will vary. But for a fully built out Langdon Glock, it's gonna be around $1,000. So we ended up giving it a 7. It is a little expensive, but it's not way up there. Up next is ergonomics, and back when we started with the Glock 19, it got a 5 for ergos, and where it's still a Glock, they didn't do a whole ton to up the ergonomics. They add a single undercut and the laser stipple, so we bumped it up to a 6. It does feel a lot nicer than a stock Glock, but it's not a night and day difference between your stock ergos on a normal Glock and this upgraded Langdon. So we ended up giving it a 6 for ergonomics. So moving on to trigger, the Glock 19 got a 5, but with the Apex tactical trigger system and the Langdon gunsmiths doing their work on it, it makes it a lot nicer than a stock trigger, but it's still a Glock, so we ended up giving it a 7. So the Langdons, they install the Apex trigger, they do their magic on it, and it is really nice. It's very crispy for a Glock trigger. It still has somewhat of a rolling break, but with the Apex system and their gunsmithing, the over travel and the pre-travel is much nicer than the normal Glock Gen 5. So ended up getting a 7. Bore axis, we kept it at an 8, as the same as the Gen 5 Glock 19, because it is exactly the same. It's a really good bore axis. I think it kind of sets the standard for bore axes on polymer striker fired pistols. It's not crazy low, but it is low enough to have a very nice recoil impulse, especially with the 34 with that longer slide and bigger spring. It shoots really well. So it ended up getting an 8 for bore axis, just like the Glock 19. Up next is sights, and with this one, it has the Dawson Precisions. On their other Glocks, you can get Ameriglow sights. I also have a Langdon Glock. It is a Glock 45, and it came with the Ameriglows blacked out because I have a dot on it. But as far as the Dawson Precisions go, I gave it a 9. I love these Dawson Precision sights. They are blacked out in the rear, not really tight channel with a good bright fiber optic in the front. It's point of aim, point of impact at 10 yards, so you just line them up, equal height, equal light, put that red dot on where you want the bullet to go, and it goes there so long as you do your part. So for sights, it got a 9. Moving on to aftermarket support, just like the Glock 19, it is getting a 10. It's probably the most supported pistol in the aftermarket arena out there because it's been around for a long time. There's so many parts you can get for this. It's already upgraded, but you can upgrade it even further. So it is getting a 10 for aftermarket support. Moving on to capacity, it's getting an 8. The Glock 19 got a 7. This holds more rounds than the Glock 19, so we gave it an 8. It's pretty average for a full-size striker-fired gun, 17+1 with the normal magazine, and obviously more if you're running extensions. So it's getting an 8 for capacity. Moving on to serviceability, just like the Glock 19, it is getting a 9. It is extremely serviceable in the field and at your armorer's desk. It's very easy to field strip, just like the Glock 19. Almost no tools. Basically, you just need a punch and you can strip it completely down, do whatever you need, and put it back together relatively easily. So it's getting a 9, just like the Glock 19 is, because it's the exact same takedown procedure. Moving on to value, since you get a little bit more than the Glock 19, Glock 19 got a 6, with this being a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a little bit more. We gave it a 7 just because you're getting slightly bit more, but it's still a little on the expensive side. These come in right at around $1,000 for a fully built Glock 34 or whatever you're going for, 45, 19, 17. It's gonna be around $1,000. But what you're getting for that money is basically what comes with a normal Glock. You get the same case and the same magazines, but they use the grip plugs. You get a nice trigger with a gunsmith trigger job. You get better sights. You get a really nice laser stipple. that doesn't look very aggressive, but it is nice. I've put a lot of rounds through the Langdon tactical Glocks, and so has Aaron, and we both are big fans of the stipple system, or the stipple job on them. And the single undercut doesn't look like a lot, but once you handle one, it does make a pretty good difference. So it ended up getting a value of 7. And lastly, the most controversial topic is the cool factor. I gave it an 8, just like the Glock 19. I love Glocks. I think they shoot great. They obviously aren't the most aesthetic looking gun or the most ergonomic gun, but they shoot well if you can shoot well. And the Langdons do a great job of kind of speeding them up, getting them running better with a better trigger, better stipple, better sights, basically all that the Glock needs to be just that much better. They don't mess with any of the reliability components. Just a great gun made better. So we ended up giving it an 8. So that brings the total score for the Langdon built Glock 34 to a 79 out of 100. Let us know what you guys thought on that score, if there are things that you would have changed or you would have added to, or if you shoot a Langdon Glock at home. As always, guys, stay strapped, stay safe. Drop a comment on what other guns you'd like to see us review on Monday Gunday, and we'll see you next time.